Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Shavetta Belton. I'm the owner of Divine Oasis Salon. Hey, Vania. I'm the owner of Divine Oasis Salon, and I'm also a stylist there. Hey, Twanda. Hey, Fee. And I am also the founder of Faith Plus Works Equals Success, ShavettaBelton.com, the coaching program, where I do my life coaching and mentoring. Guys, good morning, good morning. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Antoinette. Hey, Stephanie, Jarrell. To all my clients that's on, I miss you guys so much. I'll be probably in our group a little bit later to talk to you guys to tell y'all our return date and everything. I didn't put a title up there because I'm probably not going to be on super long this morning. Good morning, Robin. How are you? Good morning, Gwen. And the reason that I said I'm probably not going to be on super long, good morning, Courtney, super long this morning is because I'm not feeling the best. I don't know. I think it's my sinuses got a hold of me this morning, so I won't be on live super long this morning. Good morning, Twanda. Over here on Facebook, went from one side to the other side. I'm keeping track of you. Good morning, good morning. I hope you guys have had a great, great week. Ever since last week. Hey, Vanessa, how are you this morning? Guys, also, if you all could keep our Connect family in prayer. Hey, Tiffany, Edward, and Regina Wilson. Regina lost her father on last night. So if we can come together as a community and lift them up in prayer, and also some friends of ours and some people that's close to us actually have been diagnosed with COVID-19, and a couple of them are at risk. So we do ask that you lift them up as well. But good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. And my title for this morning, I laugh because it was When Plans Change. And when I woke up this morning, my eyes were hurting from my sinuses, and my nose was stopped up. Like I had all of the sinus things going. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this morning, only because I don't have a whole lot of energy and the capacity to stick it through. I'm tired this morning. So in that, it was, do I make a post or do I go live to let them know why this may not be that long, or why I may not stay on the whole period of time? And I realized that y'all deserved a live because I told you I was coming on live. But good morning, Kels. So this morning, hey, Miss Jessie, how are you? The title was going to be When Plans Change. It wasn't because it was anything big. It's just that through this process of getting things together to go back to work or to shift in different ways, because for us in the beauty industry, this was our week to start back. And a lot of people did, and a lot of people planned accordingly to start back today. That was their goal, yesterday, I think Monday, not today, Monday. And like to see the posts and the videos of how my industry has come together and put things into place to make sure that they're cared for properly, and our clients are cared for, is amazing. Like they've come up with some creative ways. I believe it's Rhonda. She has a plexi, not really plexi board, but a shield that's separating the clients, and she, the due diligence in that is amazing. How stylists are coming up with creative ways to make sure that you guys are all right. So I will step out there on a limb and say that when you all return, if you're not returning to some, myself, or somebody that I know, that you'll be taken care of wonderfully. You'll be taken care of with no problem. But like I said, I won't be before you long this morning, only because I'm not feeling my best. I'm not 100%. And to sit here and try to push through would be a disservice to you guys. And y'all been rocking with me since February 26th. We've been doing this every Wednesday. And I appreciate it. I really do. But guys, I'm really excited for my beauty industry sisters that are on here. Keep pushing, keep going. I'm excited for your return back to work. I'm sure your clients are excited that you're returning back to work. But Listen, when plans change or things just don't turn out the way you thought they would turn out, just keep pushing and keep going. It's times in life where you have set a plan forth and you have set things and you've thought things. Hey, Tamu. Hey, Yvette. Hey, and you have thought things were going to go one way. You thought you had this plan, you had this idea. Hey, Capricia, you thought everything was going to line up this way. And then in an instant, God can change things, or things could go a different way. And you didn't realize it was going to happen. You didn't know it was going to work out the way it was going to work out. And that happens to us. It really does. It happens to us in everyday life. You can get up simply to say, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to get this. And then in your route, you've been gone from home 2 or 3 hours, and that was never the plan. Well, how do you process those plans? How do you process those shifts? Then we have big shifts that come in life that just take control, that shift things away from the physical plans that you had. But you have to be okay with the shift. You have to be okay with the switch, because what we have to realize sometime in life, that the switch is for our best interests at heart. The shift didn't happen to you, but it happened for you. That is a major way to look at some things, because if we stop looking at things like, I can't believe this happened to me. But if we seek God and ask him, what was it for? What was the greater good of this? It happened for you. Sometimes you'll realize things happen for you, not against you. And that sometimes is the biggest thing, looking at it, right? Perspective. Sometimes we have to stop and step back and go, this didn't happen to me. It happened for me. And so in the shifts of life, and sometimes we feel like we've been shifting forever. But my shift in life started like last year, and it wasn't a shift in life as far as with business or with anything. It was personal shifts. It was the shifts of taking a shift, stepping back and looking at me. So that was one shift. It was a personal shift. It was really focusing on what would make me a better person, what would make me a better stylist, what would make me a better mother, what would make me a better business owner, what would make me a better friend. Well, because we forget, we get, and what makes me better spiritually, and my walk better with Jesus. What are those things? What are those things, those inner things that you're working on, that you're refusing to take a step back and shift, and really shift the thoughts, your thoughts and your plans. And so when it was me, it was like, okay, so when it was personally about me, I had to take a step back and really look at me. So then I did that, and then as time has changed, it's been different shifts. It's been, I shift my books as a stylist. It was when God said, change your books, really sit down and look. And he didn't give me an answer. It was really sit down and look. Look at what you want to do. Look at what clientele you want. Look at what client base you want. And you can take this across the board. If you're a teacher, if it's several things that we do. If you're not just that you're a stylist, but if you're an event planner, if you're a teacher, if you're an educator, sometimes you take a step back. And God told me to take a step back and really look at what you love to do. What is it that you love to do? What is it in the hair industry that you love to do? Well, I took a step back in that. Hey guys over there, Instagram world. Hey, Avril, LaShonda. So I took a step back and I had to look. And it was, I love to cut hair. I love to cut hair. I love short hair. I love a good bob. These are the things that make me happy. A haircut and a good bob. Can I do color? Yes. Do you enjoy it enough to keep it on your books? Yes. I don't do sew-ins. I never have. I don't do, so I had to go through the list of the things I do. So even in your other businesses that aren't hair businesses, because I'm a hairstylist, it's going to always go there. But if you sit and you look at the things that you really love to do, or you do the things that stir you up, then you're in the right place. Be okay with what's in you and what he's put in you. so that you can shift and pursue that thing the way you're supposed to. So for me, it started last year when he told me that, and then I realized I hadn't gotten a raise in 4 or 5 years. So I gave myself a raise. In that shift where he made me take a step back and look at me, then look at my books and look at things like that, when I took a step back and look at those things, I adjusted my prices. Hey Ryan, I adjusted my prices. I extended the amount of time that my clients had with me. And I changed my prices. There's no way we can go out here and change prices and think we're going to give people the same amount of time. It's unfair. And so then when we set out, we're forced to take our business differently. We're forced as a unit, because it's not I used to do that, but no, you ain't do that. It's none of that. It's no lines that where we're all together. We're all having to rebuild together. We're all having to start together. And I was on the phone, I was on the phone with Rhonda last night, and we were saying how our industry itself has united, and we have come together as a family, and we've joined hands and we've connected, and it's a beautiful thing. And how, hey, Nikki, and how, Kenya and Marquita, how beautiful it is for all of us to be together. So our prayer is that we stay united. We stay a front that sticks together. We stay a front that looks out for each other. That's not looking to point fingers, but looking to help direct. But in the shift of me changing those things, that shift was a shift that was sent by God. So then in that, when God told me to shift, I shift. And so when he told me to shift my books, I shift my books. What that did was it allowed me more time with my family, and I was still able to make more money, be everything my clients needed me to be, but also be what my family needed to be. So I say he's telling us in every way, shape, form, or fashion that it shifts in life. Even if you're not a hairstylist, even if you're a teacher, take a step back. What is that thing? Hey, Marcy. Hey, Lisa. Take a step back and really be okay with where he placed you. And within the last, I can't even say a week, because starting Friday, he put me in another shift of life. And I was like, but God, whoa, this quick. But it's not that it's so quick. It's when he put things in play that becomes quick. Because we forget what we may have prayed for a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe 6 months ago. Because he's going to do it in his timing. It's not our timing. You could feel the shift, but you never know when that play is going to be put down. You never know when he's going to put the playbook in front of you and say, now play that, run that route. You don't know. All you know is I put my request in, just like vacation time at your job if you're still working a 9 to 5, right? If you're still working a 9 to 5, you don't always get, you're going to get May 26th through June, whatever, off. You don't know. You don't know. So when you turn in that slip, because there's so many things that have to come into play before that manager can give you that time off. Excuse me, y'all. That time off. They got to look at the whole book. They have to look, am I going to have coverage on the floor this day? Am I going to have somebody prepared for that day? Is somebody going to be in rotation for this time? They have to make sure everything is done. And so it's no different than you in life. Before God can put that playbook in front of you, or before he can approve your time, first of all, you have had to do some work. You've had to put in some time. You've had to stay in his face. And so when he says go, then you're able to go, and you're able to do, or you're able to shift, and it won't be awful. Will I say it'll be pleasant? No, but every shift isn't pleasant. Every shift isn't easy. Especially if your shift or your move in life is attached to others, it's not. It'll be uncertain and unclear with some things, but always remember, in all things, he takes care of all things. He's not going to do anything to hurt you or anyone else. Even in the lessons, the hard lessons of life, even in the things that don't feel good, we have to remember that it's not to hurt us, but it's for our good. it's not to break us down or beat us up, but it's for our good, you know? So in these places, what we have to realize that shifts in life happen, and shifts happen for a reason. When we've been out, by the time I go back, I would have fully been out 2 months from the salon, and I've never thought that could happen. I never thought that I would be able to sit out for 2 months and actually enjoy my family and cook food for them. Good morning, Lydia. Good morning, Christy. How are y'all? You know, I never thought I would be able. Hey, Stephen. I never thought I would be able to sit out for 2 months. The beautiful part is sitting out for 2 months and you really don't have the money. You know, you don't, when I say don't have the money, you can't go out in the world and spend the money. So you're actually not filling it in with just things, but that you're building a solid relationship with your children. You're building a good relationship with your, a solid and good relationship with your spouse. You're actually spending quality time. The other night, it was night before last, it had to be the funniest thing. My children, Morgan came downstairs and was like, "What are you cooking?" And I was like, "Nothing." And she was like, "No, like, what are you cooking?" And I was like, "Thank you, Stephen." I was like, "Nothing. Nothing. I got me some tuna and I made me a tuna wrap. Y'all want one? They're really good. Hey, Joy, they're really good." And they were like, "No." Those kids had gotten used to a home-cooked meal every night, lunch, dinner, breakfast. They had gotten used to certain things. Them kids was like, "Nah, this not okay, Ma." And so then Morgan comes down the stairs and she was like, "Me and my brother are going to the store." I said, "You are? What you getting? Chicken breast or something?" And I said, "Okay." I said, "But who paying for it?" She was like, "You." But the thing was, I was like, "No, I'm not cooking tonight." And if we would have prepared, you know, if you would have thought about this earlier, y'all would have got the meat out the freezer because it's meat in the freezer. And she was looking at me like, "You have just ran it." Y'all, that night, she taught herself how to make, well, she had my assistance, but she made homemade macaroni and cheese. Now, she had crab legs from the weekend, but the child was like, "Oh no, I'm not eating no tuna wrap. You can eat that, ma'am, but I'm eating something homemade." But my husband and I were talking yesterday, and he said, you know, and my friend, he said, when you get used to having, they done got used to having that home cooked meal. They've gotten used to that time. They've gotten used to those things. It's hard to go make a tuna wrap. It's hard to go make them oodles and noodles that you used to didn't mind eating. It's hard to do those things. So in that shift of life, I'm happy that's a problem. I'm happy that my children actually look for a home cooked meal. They're actually excited to have us here. They're excited. Their expectation of things have shifted because of what we're in. They were used to one thing, but because we've been in a solid 2 months, their expectations have changed. Their desires have changed. Their taste buds have changed. Their wants and their needs have changed. So sometimes when we're in the shift of life and we're in a place, things change. Things change, whether we realize they will or not, whether we want them to or not. Because honestly, some change come that you know you didn't want to happen, or some change happen, some shifts happen and you prayed about it so long ago, or you desired it for so long and thought it wasn't going to happen. So hey, Barry, so when it does happen, hey, Kirsten, when it does happen, you're like, "Whoa, I wasn't ready. I didn't know it would be like that," you know? But in life, you have to be okay with the shift. And in the shift, it's one thing to have your hand in his hand. Because in life, things change. Everything doesn't stay the same. And a lot of times it would be great if it could, you know? But it doesn't. It doesn't. But I'm praying that the shift as far as my kids expecting real meals, them expecting time, them expecting me to be around, I pray those things stay. I pray that those things do not stop. I pray that those things continue to move forward, because those are shifts and changes that happen for me and my family that I don't want to lose. God has given me time with my babies. God has given me time with my husband. You know, when that time presents itself, it's a beautiful thing. Like you get the old school butterflies in your stomach and the smile on your face when you see your man walk through the door. Not the, oh, there you go, he home from work, but you're really excited to see him. I told him this morning, I said I fell asleep staring at you last night. And in his sleep, he honestly had the best little smirk on his face, because I had gotten in bed after him. And so when I got in the bed, he gave a smile, a smile. But he was asleep, but he gave a smile. And it was, hey, Shay, hey, Kimberly, hey, Tam, I know you're happy to be back at work, girl. I saw your fitness, I saw them working out last night. I was like, get it. But he had a smile on his face, and the last thing I remembered as I was going off to sleep was the smile he had on his face when he was asleep. So it's moments like that where we're not rushing to live life, but we're actually living this life, not rushing to be in this life, and not rushing things to change, and not rushing things to happen, but just honestly living life, and living it fully, and living it with the love of Jesus Christ in our heart, with the joy that we have, truly living life. And so during this time, I've also had time to really know, and I hate that, and I'll post it in the feed. It was a book that I read. I think it's called Identity Crisis. I'm really learning who you are. And it's a Christian-based book, but really learning and understanding who Jesus Christ who God created you to be, and who you are, and the I am lives in you. And just it was time for me to take time and just continue to grow, to read the things I needed to read, to understand who I was, so that I wouldn't shift and change with the shifts of life, because you have to be solid. You have to understand, because everything is not always a feel-good shift. Everything is not always a happy-go-lucky shift, even though you can see the silver lining in some things. But as far as the shift where it came with me and my family, and me and myself personally, those were easy shifts, but they were worth it shifts. So I would say to you, if you're in the shift of life, just sit back. Put your hand in his hand and let him guide you through the shift. Let him lead you through the shift. Let him help you understand exactly what's going on, because he's the one that's shifting. He's the one that's doing. He's the one that's calling you to these places, and every shift isn't a bad shift. We have to understand sometimes things shift, and it's for us to move in a place where we can grow. Because sometimes we get stuck in a place and we get stagnant. And then in this stagnant place, we lose out on what he has for us. Just because you were growing at one point doesn't mean you're always going to grow in the same place or the same atmosphere. Because just like flowers, it's the time to live. Good morning, Mitch. It's the time to live, and it's a time, you have seasonal flowers. You don't have to uproot them. They'll automatically come back when the temperature is correct. They'll automatically grow back when the atmosphere is ready. So even in that, understand it's a time for everything. It's a time for all things that he set out for us. Just like the leaves, they go through beautiful stages. We have the trees. The trees do it, y'all. We love when fall comes, because you get to see that green tree that was beautiful and flourishing in the summertime. And you're riding down the road, but October come, I love to see the red and the orange and the brown. Now winter comes and that tree is bare, and you're looking like, dang, that used to be a beautiful tree. Oh, but when its season come back, it is beautiful. It has seasons. And in every season, he has planned for all his things to be beautiful. It just may not be a green leaf this time. It may be a brown or a red one. It may be a drier leaf than the leaf before. Just like that flower. Oh, that flower is beautiful. It had my front yard looking great. Now it's gone. Oh, but when the summer comes back. Oh, when it's time to water it, that flower is beautiful again. So we have to look at these shifts and understand that these shifts are for a reason. We have to understand that these shifts happen. And a lot of times the shifts happen and they're not planned. And it's because you forgot what you prayed for. You may have forgotten what your desire was because you thought it wasn't going to happen and you thought he happened to have forgotten. And in all actuality, he didn't forget. It just wasn't time. In actuality, that may not be what he had planned for you. Because some of us are asking for things and praying for things that is not the desire he has for you. It's not what he's called you to. It's not what he has set before for you. And so if it's not what he has for you, always remember that what he has planned for you is greater than any plan you could ever have. Whatever he has given you, whatever he has set for you is greater. So sometimes the true desires of what we want are not the same desires that he has for our heart. A lot of times, that stirring that we have, and that one thing that just keep popping up, that one thing that just keep coming to the forefront that you like, nope, that's not for me. Nope, I don't want it. No, I don't want to do it. But it keep coming up. It keeps showing up. I guarantee that's the will for your life. I guarantee that's the will he has set for your life. And so don't run from it, but run to him. Don't put on your track shoes trying to get away from that thing. Seek him. Put your track shoes on and let your hunger and your desire to know his will for your life be what drives you to find out exactly where you're supposed to be. I have educators on the line now, right? Not just in the marketplace, but just educators, period. But we have people on live now. I'm at 39 on Facebook, 5 on Instagram, right? The numbers fluctuate. I have educators, whether you're an educator for the beauty industry, that and honestly, when I say educator, because I'm speaking it as if it was, because some of us are sitting with just regular license and we're supposed to be teaching. Some of us are supposed to be in schools, honestly, teaching up these stylists, raising up these stylists and raising the bar of education for them. Some of us are already educators, and sometimes we need to just step back and really look at this thing and go, how can I be different? God, on today, how can I be different for my students? How can I be different in the workplace? How can I change the systems that are placed before us now and make them better? Not sitting back talking about how awful it is. We can't sit back and talk about how awful these stylists are coming out. We can't talk about how awful the education system is. We can't talk about how awful the office is, how awful healthcare is, when he's put that desire in you to shift and change these things, but we refuse to move on it because either we don't feel like we're able, or we're second guessing ourselves, or we're doubting ourselves, or we just think that it's not for us. But what if that's what he's assigned to you? What if it's the thing that he has given you to complete? So if he's placed that thing in you to educate, I ask that you be obedient and educate. I ask that you be the conduit to change the ways and things around your office, to bring healthcare up to a different level. Hey, Quantisa. Hey, Bertha. It's time for us to step up and do what we're supposed to do, to build the things that we're supposed to build and be who he has called us to be, and not just waver and not want to because we don't feel like we're able or we don't feel like we're capable. The shift is requiring us to do things that we don't want to do. The shift is requiring us to show up in ways that we've never showed up before. The shift is requiring an expectation has been put out where we have to do things differently. So what is your assignment? That's right. So what is your assignment? What is he telling you? What is your next? Don't always look at the shift is not bad. It doesn't always feel good, but it's not bad. It's not bad. But we got to have the desire to shift, because his desire for us, and we can't sit around and pray that we want more and we want to grow and we want to be great and not expect a shift and not expect things in life to change. So when you start doing the work in you, expect the work on the outside to work. Expect that it comes with an assignment. Expect that it comes with a shift. Expect these things to change because they will. And always remember, sometimes you have to sit back, because like I said before, we forget the prayers. We forget the things that we've asked for. And when they come, if you don't take it, then what? If you don't partake of it, then what? And then when you see somebody else eating off that plate, then what? Then what? So we've asked for some things and we've desired some things. And he's opening things up. Are you feel a shift and you feel these moves? Guys, I tell you, listen, do it. Even if you do it scared. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Teresa. What's the shift? Hey, Candy. It's the shift in life, y'all. It's time for us to shift. Everybody's not at shifting. I'm not doing a blanket statement because everybody's not in the shift of life. But it's a lot of us that are. And it's a lot of us now that have gotten our letter of promotion, or our letter of vacation, or however it works in your job. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's not just for the beauty industry. It's for everybody. But I used that as an example earlier, where we fill out those vacation slips, or we fill out for sick leave, and we have to wait for the manager to give us approval, right? So I go back to that. What happens if your approval paper came? What happened if your vacation slip came? What happens if that thing that you've been praying and asking for come forth? Will you be ready in that shift to move the way he said move? Will you be prepared to do what you said over and over again? But because it didn't happen when you said it, when you thought it would, you thought it wasn't going to happen. And now that it happened, are you ready? Are you ready? And sometimes we get caught up in things and don't realize, like Capricia said, it's a letter of promotion. It's not a failure. It's not a heartbreak. It's not a disappointment. It's not anything done evil or bad. It's literally, we have to take a step back and say, God, wow, you did, wow, that wasn't a referral. That wasn't a denial. What was it? It's perception. It's the way we look at all these things. It's the way we handle all these shifts. So remember those things. Stop. And I would say, just stop throwing prayers out there just to say, oh, I prayed for that. Pray with the intentions. Pray with a real desire in your heart. Pray, truly pray. And have sincere prayers. Not prayers just so you can do a checklist to say, oh, I prayed today. I remember being in that place. Because we get so caught in checklists and trying to make sure that we did our checklist for Jesus. And all Jesus really wants is us. He just really wants our heart. He just really wants us to be truly, truly committed to him and sold out for him. We get so caught up in checklists. We get so caught up in doing things perfect that he's like, listen, I just want you. I want you to surrender yourself to me. So we get caught up in these checklists. So I got up and I did. And I've been there because so scared to disappoint him and disappoint the people in my life that I not just look up to, but I respect as spiritual leaders and guidance, because we all have them. And all they really want is to get us to him, so we'll understand that he's not looking for us to do a check mark for him. Y'all, we get caught up in the check mark and we forget why we showed up. We forgot why we were here. We forgot why we saw his face, because we're so busy trying to do check marks that we forget to even just show up for him. And then it becomes, hey, Elisa, then it becomes a task to show up, because when I didn't show up yesterday, then I feel guilty and I'm holding that guilt all day. And he like, man, no, if you just get in your car and pray, if you just keep a prayer in your mouth all day long, If you just seek me like you're supposed to. Now, as you grow and you grow in him, the expectation will always be greater. You're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to desire and hunger more and more of him. So then your desire to show up is different. But don't ever go, well, I don't get up like I'm supposed to. And then you get caught up in your mind and you get caught up in here. And then you're not fulfilling anything. You're not doing anything you're supposed to be doing. You're not pushing like you're supposed to do in any area, because now you've gotten caught up in your mind that you ain't showing up for him like you're supposed to. When he would much rather you give him something than give him nothing. He wants something. He's desiring something from you. So in these shifts of life, keep your hand in his hand. Continue to lean on him. When you have no clue. When you have no clue of what's going on. When you don't know what your next look like, I promise you his plan is right there. He just needs you to step out and have faith. He just needs you to trust that he's leading you and guiding you. He just needs you to know that he is the great I am. Stop trying to do it in your own might. And in the shifts of life, I offer to you for you to watch your mouth. I offer to you to watch what you speak over people and over yourself, over situations and over your situation. Your words carry weight. And you have to be careful what you say and how you say it. Because if we sit back and we think about a lot of things we've talked about and a lot of things we've said, and then when the manifestation of those things take root, then we're like, I can't believe that happened. We got to sit back and start thinking about our conversations. We got to start sitting back and thinking about the things that we've said and what we've said and what we've put out there. We have to. Because at the end of the day, guess what? 9 times out of 10, we've said it. 9 times out of 10, whether it's good or bad. So when they're sitting here telling, and it's a lot about the manifestation of your words and the things you say and how you bring listen, hey, good morning, Kiana. Listen, watch what you say. Watch what you speak. And a lot of times we sit in circles and we sit in groups and we have meaningless conversation that is not building, that is not structuring anything solid. And a lot of times we have these conversations and we say these things in places that we just think we're talking, especially when you're with your girls. But we have to be careful. It's the season of you being careful whatever comes out of your mouth. Be careful of how you handle things. Be careful of how you handle people. Be careful of how you shift and you move in this thing. Because even in your shift, be mindful, because you can be in the shift and he could be shifting you and you open your mouth and it mess up your shift. Be careful. Because that's a lesson we've all had to learn. Because our emotions and our feelings feel one way. And so then we're thinking we're able to do it. But if it's that heavy and it's that bad and it's that much of a burden, he wants it anyway. Your girlfriend can't carry it. Is she equipped to carry it? Is she called to carry it? You don't know. I'm going to tell you who is equipped, and I'm going to tell you who is called, and I'm going to tell you who will always be able to handle what you put on them. God will always be able to. He will always be able to manage it. He will always be able to carry it. And he's the one that can peel it off. He's the one that can tote it. He's the one that can uproot it. He's the one that can dig it out. So we have to be mindful of the things that we say. We have to be mindful of the words we put out there. Speak life over your situation. Speak life over what's going on. Even when it's time to go back, like for the ones of us that went back this week, everybody had their opinion. Everybody had, no, nobody should be going out. I'm not going back. That's a choice I made. For my sisters and brothers that went back, I think Joshua asked us to put up a positive thought. Because at the end of the day, it was so much negative coming out that it was no positivity to help them have anything to stand on. It is not our job to tear our sister or our brother down. It is our job to rebuild and help them stand firm and be okay out here. That is our job. So it was positive words that they were able to go back on. It was positive words for them to step out on. Because honestly, some of us have people here to help us push through. But then it's others that don't. They don't have a support system. They don't have extra income other than what they've saved. Even outside of hairstylists, it's other inessential workers that were out of work that have had to go back. So instead of tearing them down, y'all, because we get it, we see the numbers and we know what it's doing. So instead of using our tongue to talk trash and be mean, let's use our tongues to pray. Let's use our tongues to speak life. Yes, use our tongues to do the things that God has created that tongue to do. Don't use that tongue as a weapon, not in a negative way. If you're going to use it as a weapon, use it to slay the devil. Don't use it to cut your sister and brother down. Use it for what he has designed it for. Build them up. Encourage them. Start using your words and your tongue for the thing he gave it to you for. If you're not sure what that is, then go to your Bible and study in every aspect, in every place, what God says about your tongue and how to use it and how not to use it. It is a tool that he has given you that you don't even have to have a, listen, we probably need a concealed weapon license to have it. Because at the end of the day, we all have, me included, have used my tongue for the wrong thing. And then you're in the corner telling my Lord, please forgive me. Repenting quick because you know you're wrong. You know you done messed up. You know you done stepped in the bombshell. You know you done went left. And before I tell you to command your morning, God, I'm going to get 2-3 new clients today. And if you happen not to get 2 or 3 new ones in your face that day, you might want to check your style sheet or your booking site. Or you want to check your inbox. Because they might just be sitting there waiting for you to book an appointment. Start speaking life. When I go in here, these students are going to line up today. They're going to receive everything I have for them. Their minds and their hearts are going to be open to receive. My little Billy that wasn't reading good, going to be reading on a 3rd grade level. Start speaking life over the things that are there. When you go in that office this morning, when I go in that office, when I go to type that paper for that, if you're an admin for somebody, when I go in there, all those files, those things that had me aggravated, nope, they're going to be in line and they're going to be in order. My boss is going to tell me today that he's just excited to see me. And the meetings that we have are going to go great. We're going to get loans and we're going to get, start speaking life. Those things that are at your office. My patient that was struggling to walk is going to walk. My patient that hip has been hurting for months, yeah, I decree and declare that it's going to be all right. It's going to line up. I decree and declare that God is going to line that joint up and they're going to be okay. My client that's sitting in the hospital with COVID, no, they're coming out. We're not in a body bag, but they're coming out. They're coming out not on oxygen, or if they got to have it, it won't be for long. They're coming out. No, I didn't have this, but I got it now. I'm living in abundance. Abundance may not look like it in your bank account now, but if you continue to say, well, I hope I live in abundance, you're going to always hope that you live in abundance. Seek him. He tells us all the day long, God, show me which way to go. God, stand in my business. God, be the face at my business. Let them see you and not me. This is yours. I tell you what, give it all to them. Give them your children, give them your husband, give them your marriage. Give them your business, give them all the way down to your car. Give him everything and watch how he change it. Give him it all. Stop trying to do it in your own will and give it to him. Stop trying to figure this thing out because we don't know what it looked like. Whole time we've been trying to figure life out. He's like, if you just give it to me, then it will be done. Because I gave you this life. You didn't give it to yourself. I gave you this. And we all been sitting for so long trying to figure it out. Even sitting out on this two month span, in the beginning it was, I got to figure it out. I got to stay. How you do this? How you figure it out? When he like, man, I stopped the world so y'all can understand that you can't figure it out. You can't figure it out. You have to come to me because I gave it to you. It ain't yours. It's borrowed. It's mine. It's mine. Stop trying to be who you're not. Stop trying to be who you think you're supposed to be. Stop trying to make these things happen when it's not what he's destined for you. It's not what he's called you to. Be who he created you to be. Seek him. Ask him every morning. Start before when your eyes do like this. Like go from here to here. Right there. Yeah, ask him. God, what is my assignment for today? God, what do you want me to do today? God, what is it? Because I don't know. The best thing is to tell him you don't know. Because right there, you're vulnerable enough to receive what he gives you. Right there, you're vulnerable enough to get what he has for you. But if we sit here and keep trying to act like we know every day, and we understand every day, and we get it every day, we'll never leave enough space for him to come in and do what he need to do. Because we're trying to do it ourselves. And then we try to figure out why we still on this rat race. Why we still trying to make things happen that it just won't happen. Lord, why are we trying to make it? Because I ain't send you for that. I didn't call you to that. I ain't asked you to go over there. I ain't asked you to do that. But if we surrender ourselves completely and be, like you say, vulnerable enough to God, with God, that those things will shift and those things will change. That was one of the best text messages I ever got. Better be vulnerable to God. Let it go. Give him your ugly cry. One of the best things that ever happened to me was to have somebody help me come out of that place. Where I was fully vulnerable enough to say, God, I'm tired. God, I don't have it. I don't have the energy anymore. You know? Surrender it all. Because he already know. He just waiting for you to put it down at his feet. But because we so busy wanting to hold everything, that we pulling and we grabbing everything, when he can't even give you what he want to give you because your arm's so full of what he ain't even tell you to carry. I was supposed to be on and off because I wasn't feeling great. But we holding our arms so full and our hands so tight because we holding stuff that we don't want to let go of. Good morning, Chandrell. I love you too, baby. And we wonder why our weight is heavy. We wonder why our load is hard. We wonder why our back hurt. Because we holding a lot of bags and a lot of things that we ain't supposed to be toting. And stop living in your past. Stop living in what happened. Because then, stop living there. Hey, Zakia. Your past, whatever your past looks like, it's part of your story, but it's not a part of your journey. Stop toting that book. Put it in a book and put it down so you can write your next book. Write it in your journal so you can use it as your testimony, but not the story that you live your life by. Been there. I like to pick up that book because that book gave me comfort, because it gave me an excuse. That book that I used to like to grab, You know, that story, that thing was a crutch to keep me from pushing to my next. That was a crutch that I use. Put that book down and put it as a chapter. How about it don't even have to be a whole book? But if so, then let that book be the book that brings light to the thing, you know, to help somebody get out of that, be the light that helps somebody get out of that dark place, not you being able to stay there with the book. That book wasn't meant for you to read over and over again and live that story over and over again. That book was a milestone for you to write your next book. Don't get stuck in your past. Because if he bought you out of it, then why are we about to give glory to something he done bought you from? Other than as a testimony, and that's it. Stop reliving your past. Because he's delivered you from it. He's bought you back from it. It was just part of your story, you know? And we have to remember that. So in this shift of life, shift with him. Don't try to shift without him. Keep your hand in his hand. Watch the words you speak over people and watch the words you speak over your life. Be careful. Because sometimes in life, we get caught up and we forget the words that we've spoken and the things that we've said. And in return, those are the things that show back up. And they meet you at your front door. And sometimes you're like, oh, I said that. You know? Be careful. Speak life over your situation. I will live a full life. I will live a blessed life. I will have joy today. I will have peace today. These are the things that you need to speak. God, what would you have me to do today? God, please let them see you in me. Jesus, let them see your love, not my love. Because I don't have perfect love, but Jesus got perfect love. Just I want to have the love of Jesus Christ in my heart. I want to be who you've called me to be. So whatever and whoever you ask to see me today, whoever comes across me today, let me be a blessing. Let me bring joy for them. Let me be what is needed. How can you use me today? God, I don't know how this business works, so I give it to you. God, I give you my books. I give you my career. I give it all to you. I surrender it all to you. I surrender my career to you. Just give it to him. And then on the other side of it all, beautiful side is, tell him what you need. Be vulnerable enough to say, Daddy, I ain't got all the answers. Daddy, I don't know. Daddy, I messed up. How do I fix it? What would you have me to do? And sometimes when we go, sometimes we just need to sit and worship. Don't ask for nothing. God, please forgive me for my sins. And I thank you for being who you are. I thank you for loving me. And worship him. Sit quiet sometimes because he's trying to tell us something, but we run our mouth so much, we talk so much, that we don't even shut up enough to hear him speak to us. We really don't. We have our own agendas, our own thoughts, and we sit and we miss out on what he has for us. So on this morning, I told you I wasn't going to be on here long. Actually, my plan was only to be on here for about 5 minutes. Because I needed to come off. But once again, like I said, if everybody could lift our family up in prayer, Regina and Ed Wilson, send Regina love, and Regina and Ed both, their family, their whole family, experienced a great loss last evening. So if you guys could send love, hearts, and prayers their way for strength, I ask that you do that. We've had some close family members to also be diagnosed with COVID. We found out on yesterday and earlier this week that we had some close people that just haven't been doing well, and a couple of them are elderly, so we ask that you lift them up in prayer. Guys, I love y'all all. We won't be, yes, Gina, and if you and Ed need anything, please let Anthony and I know, and the Connect family, let us know. We got y'all covered. We promise we do. I love y'all all, and I thank you guys for showing up. I thank you guys for sticking it out with me through the live, and that I didn't think we were going to even make it this far. But I love you guys. Hey, Alicia. I love you guys, and I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for the hearts. And I will be back next Wednesday, but I'm truly excited. I know I said that I was going live at the end of last week about the journey to healing that's supposed to be on Thursday, the 30th, and launching my coaching program, the life coaching program. And I didn't for a reason. A shift happened on Friday in my life that kind of caught me off guard. It was something I prayed for but didn't know it was going to come. That's why I guess we talked about shift this morning the way we did. But it happened Friday, so I may have to put a pin and move the Journey to Healing Retreat to the beginning of June. It just depends. But I will be back to let you know. I didn't do it intentionally, but I don't want to put things out there and then not be able to do it, but I had to shift when he said shift. So know that information will come out, I'm sure, next week, but I will not make definite promises on that, only because, once again, I'm in a huge shift. So, and I'm sure I'll be able to share with y'all before long, but making sure that I don't open my mouth before time or speak when I'm not supposed to speak. So being mindful of those things. So know that I love you all. Know that I appreciate you all. And I thank you for your love and your prayers. Like I said, I actually, this is starting to clear up in my eyes. The swelling actually has gone down some. So the sinus medicine and the prayers are really working. So I thank you guys. I love you all. Once again, I'm Shavetta Belton, the owner and a stylist at Divine Oasis Salon, the creator of Faith Plus Works Equals Success, and ShavettaBelton.com, where I do my life coaching and mentoring. So I thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. I thank you for being a part of this Sip of Morning Motivation. And I love you more than you know, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I promise you that. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.